My name is Quill, and welcome to Craft Quest. This is a new series where I embark on a quest to try every craft there is. Today's craft is air dry clay. I've seen so many cute things made out of this, magnets, trinket trays, but we are going to try and make our own paint palette. So here's my plan. Now for the theme of my palette, I was thinking capybara onsen. I'll start off with a loose shape like this for my base, and then I'll add another layer on top as a little island, and this round part here will be our little cappy bath. I'll add in our paint voids around here in these little circles. This layer is going to look like water, and then the island is going to be our mixing palette and it will be stone. And then the bath is actually going to double as our paint water pot. I'll also add some stone walls around the edge and some capybaras dotted about. So let's get crafting. Now I'm pretty new to air dry clay and I always find the texture of Das really interesting. It's got almost like a paper pulp quality to it, but it definitely seems to be the most popular brand, and the best thing is it's cheap. First, I'm going to roll out our air dry clay evenly before cutting out the base of our palette. Then I'm going to repeat for our little island. I'll then start putting in the little divots for our paint using this ball tool. I then added this little stone step onto the island for the capybaras to get into the bath. And a larger divot for our mixing palette on the island. This did end up being a little bit smaller than I envisioned, but that's okay. Next we make the walls for our little cafe bath. This was definitely the most challenging part. I didn't want the walls crazy thick, but they need to be thick enough not to collapse. At this point I just started adding details. That was wood texture for the bath, stone texture for the island, and then I started doing all my stones around the edge. Then my final touch was capybaras. I'm not great at organic drawing or sculpting, so I kept them simple. I did one for the tub and one coming out of the lower pool, and then I added a bunch of little round balls as like yuzu fruit, because you always see them bathing in yuzu fruit. Now it's time to let this monster dry completely. Hopefully it doesn't crack much, but you never know with air dry clay. See you in a few days. Okay, it has been a full week, but our piece is fully dry and ready to paint. The painting was a lot of fun. I used acrylic paints for mine. In terms of colours and shading, I tried to stick to like a very flat Ghibli style, and I think it worked really well for this palette. Finally, our palette is dry and painted, so it's time to seal it. A lot of people use UV resin or polyurethane coating, but I'm going to try this gloss varnish by Sculpted. Now, I had the bright idea of trying to pour this on for a nice pour shot, but then I just ended up with way too much glaze everywhere, so I ended up taking a lot of it off. And here is our finished paint palette. I'm actually amazed at how well this turned out. It was my first time using air dry clay in a very long time. I might have put the glaze on too thick, but otherwise I think it's a fun little piece and I love it. Thank you for joining me on the first episode of Craft Quest. If you have any crafts that you want to suggest that I do, please leave those in the comments. And if you want to help me out by helping me buy supplies for particular crafts, I have an Amazon wishlist in my bio. Thank you for joining me. Let the quest continue.